Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Davo, casting for Archon Esports on YouTube, which is a brand new esports channel, which will be looking at StarCraft 2 and League of Legends to begin with, but we might branch out later into other games, maybe even some first-person shooters like Call of Duty. We're based in the UK. Me and an associate of mine, let's put it like this, his actual tag name is Want Some Milk, and the funny story behind that is basically he was looking for names on League of Legends, and he kept getting refused his names that he wanted, so he just started putting random names into the client, hoping that it would accept, and most of them contained food, like have some pepperami, you know, stuff like that, and he turned into Want Some Milk, and it stuck, and all of his characters on games have been named that ever since, which is kind of hilarious if you ask me. But anyway, he'll be covering League of Legends and StarCraft, and I'll be covering StarCraft generally. I mean, I'm not as well versed in League of Legends as he is, so to be honest, I'll probably just leave it up to him. Yeah, we might also be doing a small tournament just for some of the local lads here. Because we kind of believe that esports is a little bit kind of barren in the UK. There isn't much of it going on. If you really want to see some good esports competitions, then you really need to go to like Austria or Sweden or anything. Oh, that probe got surrounded. Oh dear. Owned. Excellent. And up here there's a very similar probe situation going on. Yeah. But he's probably gonna get away. Yeah, he got away. Sweet. Anyway, our players, if I haven't covered it already, we have HKN, who is our blue Protoss, in the bottom left-hand corner, and up in the top right-hand corner we have Vardane. These are diamond players, and there's a reason for why I've picked diamond players, and I'll get to that in a minute, and they're on the North American servers. Basically, I picked diamond players because this is the first video that we're actually making ever, so I mean, really, I just wanted some time to be able to explain where we stand. Oh god, that probe nearly got surrounded again, poor guy. He nearly met the fate of his predecessor. But yeah, we wanted to pretty much have some time to just be able to explain what the channel's going to be about and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be kind of casual, but we'll probably move it on to some higher tier games soon. I mean, within about a few weeks, I guess. Probably maybe in a few casts, to be perfectly honest. And we'll move up and we'll have a look at some Masters and Grandmasters games and stuff like that. It'll be really fun and good times. Yeah. Okay, so my guess here is that HKN is going for a 4-gate, primarily because the proxy pylon is already building. And I have basically no idea what Vardane is doing, but again, I'm probably going to go for 4-gate. Quite a lot of Protoss 4-gate each other these days. I mean, it's quite a normal build. It's very safe. I mean, unless it backfires, of course, because some people consider it an all-in, of course. Yeah, so obviously, very standard Protoss play. HKN is chrono boosting his Nexus, not particularly saving his chrono boost for anything else. I mean, the warp gate research is basically finished anyway now. There we go, it's just going to finish it off with one more. Obviously the proxy pylon's been found by these two stalkers, which isn't great for HKN. I mean, he could have, I think he could have cancelled it if we look back, maybe. I mean, I'll have a look at that at the end of the game. Yeah, he could have cancelled it, but nah, there's not a lot of point looking back at the end of the game, is there? Nah. Okay. So these two stalkers miss each other by a tiny amount. These two sets of stalkers here. And then he goes back because he sees them. Awesome. They look like they're going to go ahead and try and engage, but I mean, it's probably not going to go so well. I mean, obviously from this standpoint we have a great view of everything that's happening. We can kind of just say what's going to happen as it happens, which is cool. Here we've got 4 stalkers warping in, and they're probably going to be heading north to cut off these. I'd imagine. Yeah, they are. We've got another proxy pylon going down here for HK, and they're a lot more of a safer location. I mean, you know, people are going to... units are going to have to come around here to actually be able to see it. And up here we have a small engagement, and he did an attack move, so he's kind of lost quite a few of his units there. Poor fella. HKN reveling in victory, but that Stalker almost went down. I mean, at this stage in the game, Stalkers do count, but I mean, as both sides have their warp gate research now, it's not exactly crucial. I mean, now it's gonna be pushed a little bit more into the mid game. I mean, it's been a very safe early game. Okay, and this is our first major engagement of the match. Sorry, just got to move that. Yeah, first major engagement of the match. I mean, HKN looks like he's going to try and push up this ramp, but I mean, it would really, really help if his proxy pylon was still alive. that Stalker there has just finished it off. I mean, he can't. The problem is here, he just can't reinforce as quick as he should be able to, or would like to be able to. Especially seeing as Vardine has just put all chrono boosts he has on these warp gates. I mean, and he's actually got a flanking proxy, like a flanking pylon, sorry. And I mean, this attack here, yeah, it's gonna get pinched in as well. Oh, a nice force field too, Vardine. Trying to ramp, got force field into the base. Excellent. Yeah, see more Stalkers getting in. This attack will get cleared up. I mean, it didn't really achieve very much. The attack itself, it's kind of a loss completely. Nevertheless, we've got more Zealots pushing up here. I'm not sure about the choice in Zealots here, because I mean, Vardine has a Sentry and lots of Stalkers. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have gone for Zealots, but that's cool. I mean, Vardine does have Zealots himself, so there's always the opportunity for the Zealots to just duke it out between them while the Stalkers blow each other to pieces, which of course is what StarCraft is all about. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, patrolling the map, probably looking for more proxy pylons now. I mean, yeah, this is a little bit slower paced than some games that you see, especially like the Masters League games. But again, I've picked it because this is my first real attempt at casting, and hope that I can do better next time. We've got a rather large engagement here, and those Zealots I was saying they were going to duke it out, well, did, and HKN's prevailed. At this point, I think if Vardine would have been a little bit more aggressive, like, as soon as that attack finished, he could have actually done quite a bit of damage. I mean, if he got a few units up the ramp here, he could have sniped some of these pylons, and then HKN would be down in supply, which at this point in the game would be, yeah, quite big, not huge. It also looks that Vardine is getting ready to put down expansion here too. Yeah, there it goes. Nice. Okay, so at the moment, it looks like Vardine is ahead, really. I mean, he obviously is in supply, but he needs to be really careful here. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Once these Zealots get hold of the Stalkers, they just turn them into absolute Protoss jelly goo stuff. Not very pleasant experience for Stalkers at all. I mean, but that's why Sentries are so useful, of course. You can just block ramps with them. Great defense mechanism, really. You see some of the higher tier players making really great use of Sentries. Cool, so the expansion is still coming. Ah, we've got an Immortal coming out here for a Vardine, HKN, sorry. Now, Immortals, I think they're my favourite unit of the entire game. Namely because they just dish out the damage so badly, and they're so difficult to take down. Even though this one's about to die, no, it's not going to go down. I mean, to be honest, it might have been worth sniping it, because they're worth quite a lot of resources, and they're probably a bit better than the resources they're worth as well. Keeping in mind they're worth exactly what 2 Stalkers are worth, and they take ages to die, and they do super shitloads of damage. HK making an obs, seeing what's going on. He's going to see this expansion. He's going to want to try and be either quite aggressive or make his own expansion and defend. And here we have Vardine regrouping, getting ready for what looks to be like another push. I mean, in this situation here, if he was to have some Zealots, he could really, really do some damage against this Immortal. And indeed the Immortals that are actually coming out for HKN, because, well, the way that the Immortal Shield works means that the Zealots will turn them into complete bits in a matter of seconds. And I don't actually believe that Mortals do that much damage against Zealots. I mean, they're still really good, but they're not as good. Basically, Mortals suffer more with the lower tier the unit they're against. It seems to be, as far as like, I mean, Zerglings rape Immortals, and so do Zealots and Marines. And yeah, so we got HKN having a good old look-see at what's going on in Vardine's army. Oh, another Immortal joining the fray. I mean, I really, really like Immortals. I can't stop gushing about them, actually. God, I'm in love with them. Oh, that one went down, though. Too bad. Another Immortal joining the fray, though. It's very important to get the Immortals a nice place to stand amongst the Stalkers. Basically, I mean, they need to be there to do the damage, otherwise, because Immortals is the kind of unit that can change battles. Vardine, sorry, is doing a full-on pull-out now, it would look like, and HKN is just kind of regrouping, waiting for another Immortal to come out. Awesome. Vardine has actually started mining from his natural now, which is obviously really good, and it'll give him a long-term economic advantage. Generally speaking, that's what you want in a game like this. I mean, this at the moment seems to be a game of stalemates. You've got on one hand a kind of a potent sentry zealot mix built in with Stalkers, but we're not seeing any zealots running around. And on the other hand, you've got a Mortal Stalker, which will destroy Stalker armies. You know, but I mean, if he was to use the force fields really, really well, then he could, and with a few zealots, he could really turn the tide of this game very quickly. I mean, they're both pretty evenly matched so far, being 16 minutes and 50 seconds, then it's still pretty definitely in the mid-game. As you can see, Vardine is getting that +1 weapons, which will really help him actually, because the army compositions are quite well matched at this point. There's nothing really crazy going on. There's a big battle here. I mean, this cannon that he's erected here really has been doing the damage. Nice attempt to snipe that Immortal. He could have sniped that, and then he'd be down. HKN, sorry, would be down Immortal. I mean, that would be great news for Vardine, because they are really the destroyers. Yeah, I mean, really now might be a good time for Vardine to transition into something else, like perhaps Immortals or Colossi. He's on 2 base, he can afford it, but it's just a matter of whether he can afford it with holding off attacks from HKN. But I mean, if you were scouting him properly, you'd see that he's making a new base anyway. He's probably waiting to last finish so he can defend it properly. In the meantime, Vardine's probably going after this gold expansion. He's clearing the rocks here with that. Now a massive force of 3 Immortals. The AI is splitting them. I believe that's the AI, unless HKN has actually done that himself. Sometimes the AI does have really weird paths on Zelnaga caverns. It's something to be watched out for, because otherwise situations like this can arrive where the Zealots, like I said earlier, can absolutely destroy these Immortals. And the problem is, Immortals are simply game-changing units if used correctly. And these Stalkers are going to kill this Immortal. I mean, they're faster and they've got a better range. Or at least, I believe they have. That might have been pre or post patch. Yeah, I mean, really, Vardine's really kicking some ass here, to be quite honest with you. He's just denying this expansion of HKN over and over again. Nothing to defend it but Stalkers and the Immortal coming out now. Also, Vardine has +1 weapons, which will definitely give him the edge. I mean, getting +1 weapons and armor in a mirror matchup like this is really crucial, because obviously you've got the same units, you just need something to push you over and give you an edge. Basically. HKN still very much on the defensive, it would seem. I mean, he really needs to make something happen here. Maybe he could sneak a few Zealots round this way and get into the mineral line of Vardine. He just needs to make something happen, because Vardine's putting down the 3rd. HKN is about 40 supply behind. I mean, Immortals aside, if you don't use them properly and get upgrades and stuff, especially in mirror matches, they're basically worth nothing. Yeah, generally speaking, I mean, as I say, this is, again, I'm sorry, this is a bit of a slow game, but it is a slow game for a reason. Now, this might be a killer blow coming up for Vardine. I mean, there's quite a lot more forces running down the map towards HKN's new base. He just needs to let the Zealots get out. Yeah, nice. Also, these Immortals are just suffering. They need to be micro properly against those Zealots, because the Zealots just literally turn them into absolute dog food so quickly. Now the probe's being called off, a kind of a desperate last stand. More reinforcements are streaming down the middle of the map for Vardine. I mean, that was almost a killer blow. Yeah, there's the GG, and that is the game over. So that was our first cast. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but whoever does, if you could give us some like constructive criticism, that would be lovely. And as I say, Want Some Milk will be around to do some League of Legends stuff soon. I mean, I can't really give a time for exactly when he'll be around to do that, but soon enough. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. This is our first cast, and hopefully we'll see you next time. See ya.